started a little bit earlier and West Nile delayed a little bit of the time. That couldn't really happen. I mean, that couldn't really make a very, very big, of course, move for them. But still, we shall be waiting to see how exactly they will be concluding right there. So it's going to be the match day 2 of that is the West Nile Regional League, and that will be kick-starting today. We have a couple of games that are going on, right now as I talk. So we shall be waiting to see what exactly. Owen is my name, and of course I have Benson Story right here. Benson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Owen Ezaga. Good afternoon, the viewers. This is of course the usual program, Whistle Time, that comes on your way from 2 p.m. up to 3 p.m. and from Mondays up to Saturdays. We give you a lot in the world of sports, but the majority of what we always give to the viewers is of course football stories that happens in the world of football, because 90% of the population in the world, they follow football a lot. And apart from football, we always give a lot, and we start with what is happening within the region. Like he has already given it as one of the highlights. We are starting with the Regional League Match Day 2 kick-starting. We take a look at the national stories, and as usual, we'll finalize everything with what is happening in international sports, more especially stories that are coming from Europe. And if they also continental stories, we don't leave them out. What you only do is just stand next to a screen, and the channel, of course, will have to be that one, West Nile TV, as you wait from us to break the contents. Yeah,
West Nile Province will also be tussling it out, by the way. It's another big one tomorrow. And then, of course, you have also big league games that will be coming today. You also do have, that is what exactly happened in, that is the Uganda Premier League yesterday. We shall be breaking that off. And, of course, some of the games maybe that will be also making headlines. I mean, that is the big league right there. So all those are some of the big stories that we are talking about. But, of course, match day 2 of that is the Regional League. Where exactly should we start with? Where do you see this getting into?
Yeah, we start with the game. Much as it is played tomorrow, the game between Araka and the Coach Urban seems to be the biggest game in match day 2, and it is coming from Nile Zone. I think we can kickstart our discussion with that biggest fixture.
What do you see? Because it's one of the biggest things, just like you said, that will be coming right there. And yeah, the game seems to be so big.
Good enough, this fixture, of course, have been settled at the beginning of the season. And you take a look at these two teams, Araka and the Coach Urban, the head-to-head between the two sides, they seems to be going neck to neck. If I can remember very well, towards the closer of next season in Nile Zone, these two teams, of course, had to play between themselves to decide who, of course, emerged as the winner from Nile Zone. And it all went into the hands of Coach Urban, and they played in Ebisendro on the other side in the playoffs and failed to proceed to that FUFA Big League. But that's not the point of discussion. The point of discussion is all about these two teams, Araka up against Coach Urban. Right now, the two teams, they have actually been preparing a lot in so many things. Financially, you talk about how they have been engaging themselves in the build-up matches. They have actually been preparing massively. But of late, 70% of the population in the region, I know they might be having that mentality. Coach Urban is currently the biggest side in the region because they managed to proceed up to the playoffs before they were knocked out by a certain Young Elephants from that side of Nyoya. But right now, you take a look at how the two sides have been preparing. The way I am saying, it's not going to be an easy fixture for any of the team. The two teams, of course, will have to battle, and the team that's going to be tactical enough, right from the touch lines up to the play part of it. I'm talking about the game part of it in the pitch. We'll take it all. I'm not ruling Araka out of the game. It's a 50-50 scenario between the two sides, because you take a look at the entire Yumbe DFA. You look at the teams. I think majority of the people will talk about Araka and the Coach Urban. Last season is already gone. We are focusing in the new season. The team that is going to win it, of course, will take the gongsia of the fans. Yeah,
it's a very big one, just like you see on the screen. There's also Nyahama that will be taking on Pajobi. That game is live today at 4. Then Kuluva Rainbow against Padea in Pai, the Black Angels. This is also a big game that we maybe could be watching at Kuluva. What are you expecting from this tough fixture?
Kuluva Rainbow up against Pai, the Black Angels. I know most of the people, they are talking about, the talking point is all about the team of Pai, the Black Angels, not only for the the game against the Kluva Rainbow, but you take a look at all these teams that are playing this season in Nyagaki Zone. Not only in Nyagaki Zone, but the entire West Nile Regional League. I know so many people are talking about Paida Black Angels just because of the level of preparation they have been having, how they have been performing in the build-up matches. But there is no need for us to rule completely out a team in the names of Kluva Rainbow. Matches, they look to be an underdog in this particular encounter. But if they are going to be careful, they can pick something against the team of Paida Black Angels. But Paida Black Angels, with the recent things have been given about them, they seems to be having the upper hand up against the team of Kluva Rainbow.
Yes, they had a very good game. Of course, Kluva also, you did see they losing 1-0 was just one big thing, but of course pulled the team up to very far. So you could be asking yourself why exactly that happened right there. But of course, another big statement that will be coming probably from the team is how do you expect this come out? How exactly as the teams assembled? Yes, I thought that Kluva is that worst, but I looked at their teams. They don't seem to be so hard. I mean, not very, very bad, because they still have chances to make sure that maybe they could get into that is the game. So I feel Kluva can still give her time to Paida Black Angels at home here, but of course Paida has all that it has gotten into their team. They have added in more names. They have added in quality in the team. Of course, experience is one thing that they have also added into the team, and we will be expecting to see that this will change something. This season, Paida is one team that you're going to be facing, and you really want to see them progress and see them probably put a lot into this. So I'm expecting very, very big game.
Yeah, it's true. You look at the team of Paida Black Angels, the whole team's like a booster, and then you look at the other teams like Kluva Rainbow, we are just discussing. They are like small vehicles following a booster. So we have ever seen small vehicles always surpassing a booster. So it will all depend on how they are going to arrange themselves. Like I said, how tactical are they going to approach this game is what is going to yield the fact for them. But if they are going to have that fear factor, this is a team that has prepared a lot. Right now, they are one of the faces of the regional league. That one will make them to spoil the game against the Paida Black Angels. But if they are going to come wholeheartedly and do it against the team of Paida Black Angels, anything can
over the game. Now, match day 2 still has, of course, the team of Padea Rising, that is playing also the team of Paida United at Wembley. Yes, it's a very big one. That will be tomorrow that you could be talking about. But for today, Adjumant Town Council welcomes Barakala City. That's BK City. Of course, that means they're in Adjumani here to play the team of Barakala.
Adjumant Town Council up against BK City. BK City, I think they're in the same group with the Coach Urban. We talk about Araka, depending on how the emergencies come up for them, how they have been actually preparing themselves. But coming up against Adjumant Town Council, much as people continue to say Adjumant Town Council has been a quiet team after being relegated from FUFA Big League, but they know that this is a different league. They have played for a number of seasons into the league before actually crossing the border until they were also relegated. But coming up against BK City, right now the competition is also massive in the DFL, because no another team will want the other one to surpass themselves in terms of record, in terms of statistics. Like the competition is, I mean, so many teams. The hospital is there, Total is there. You talk about BK City, we are discussing right now. Arak is also there. Coach Urban, who seems to be stubborn. So the competition is a massive, especially amidst the three teams, the BK cities. You talk about Araka, you talk about Coach Urban. But since they are the home side and the Adjumant Town Council, they are the visiting team, I think the worst for them, they will generate on the table might be a draw, but they will need to be very, very careful ahead of this particular encounter.
Yumbe will be welcoming a Moyo side, of course, FHL, that is at Bomber Grounds today, 4 p.m. and of course one big game that you could be talking about right there. Yumbe Heroes have their first game, I think, wasn't good for them as new entrants into the league, and they will be expecting to see that this works out this time around. A very, very big one. And so we are also expecting to see that changes maybe need to come out of this from the Yumbe side. Tough game for them to say, but because Moyo has been in this for quite a long time, they been in the league for quite a long time. They have dominated the league some time back. We even saw, aside from called FC that represented Moyo for big, that means some of the players could be featuring right there. And that's one big thing that we should be expecting to see from the games that will be coming right today between that is Moyo or Town Council or Moyo FHL, of course, and
the team of Yumbe
Heroes. Yumbe will be home. Of course, we know the support in Yumbe. They're always very, very good side to give you what exactly you need when it comes to purposes of the game. So what are we expecting from the Moyo and the Yumbe game that is coming right there?
Just like you have been saying, the other statement you mentioned, there are some great teams that are coming from Greater Madi region, more especially that side of Moyo. But at the end, once they get relegated like this, they always disappear. The best example you have already mentioned, the team in the names of Vura United, they climbed up to FUFA Big League. Right now, they are nowhere to be seen. Maybe they are playing 5th Division League or 4th Division League, and that one should act as a lesson to the rest of the teams that are coming from Moyo. Therefore, you look at the team of Moyo FHL, Moyo Town Council. This is a team that survived the relegation narrow last season, and this season they will have to be very, very careful. One thing I've loved about teams that are coming from Yumbe, the other statement you came up with, they have actually been dominating the Nile zone, and you look at the teams that are playing in Nile zone, actually 70% of them, they are coming from Yumbe district. Each and every time you will see them finishing, maintaining the log, and at the same time fighting to see that they avoid the relegation. It's also unfortunate for the newly promoted sides, not only in the Nile zone, not only for the teams that are coming from Yumbe. We saw teams like Zeus Central, you talk about Nyahama, Yumbe Hospital, Totals, and also Yumbe Heroes, all losing their first encounter in match day 1. I think this is going to be the right time for them to show to the fans, and they have the fans to nullify that mentality. It's not the season for the newly promoted side. Up against Moyo Town Council, I think they can be able to do it unless they will mess up in the pitch.
Okay, the fan base is theirs. Of course, the 12-man player is theirs, and we shall be expecting total display. Bomber Ground is one of their places that have been there, and you will be asking yourself, most of the games are played at Bomber. That means they have fairly scarce pitches in Yumbe, and one thing that, of course, could be a challenge in the near future, because when more come, what are you going to do when more teams arise? Are we still going to see them? And the games are supposed to be played on the same day, maybe on the same day. What will happen? Maybe in the long term?
It's going to affect some of these teams, because Yumbe, I still continue to repeat, Yumbe currently, you take a look at the entire West Nile region, there's so many talents they are trying to possess and send outside, so many teams they are emerging. That's why we are discussing 70% of the teams that they are playing in that zone, they are coming from Yumbe, and most of these teams, unfortunately, ironically, they are coming within the city area. Sorry to say that, though they are not officially a city. You look at Yumbe Heroes, Total, you talk about Coach Urban coming from Kochi River now basing within the urban area. So the number of teams, there are so many, so they're all relying, they are all using Bomber Ground. So it's going to affect them in case so many teams will still continue to emerge to play in the zone, and some of them, of course, will end up crossing to FUFA Big League. And you look at the pitches, the number of standard pitches Yumbe is possessing right now. We may mention Midigo Calvary Primary Playground and at the same time Bomber Ground. But you look at the teams, the teams are so many, and their level of preparation, the standard they have reached, they needed their own pitches, not more than 3 to 4 teams all sharing Bomber Ground. I think this is something, of course, not only the teams themselves, also the DFA of Yumbe, they will have to work on to see that they actually work on so many pitches, not only working on so many pitches, but working on standard pitches such that in the near future, as in the upcoming years, they don't encounter challenges of pitches. Okay,
it's one very big thing that we're expecting to see, maybe in case a lot of things come out right there. But of course, all in all, we're expecting to see that these changes need to be made one time, one day, because even the regional DFA offices are in the regional offices are in Yumbe. So that means one time, one day, another big thing could be coming right there at Yumbe, and you'll be expecting a lot of things that will be maybe pushing in right there. So exactly. exactly. That's one big thing that we should be talking about. But still in this, we have Sunday games that will be coming, yeah? And in the Sunday, there's a one game that we talked about already. And I also still want to say the Nebi Central Pakwach Youngster is going to be a tough game at Luo grounds, because we'll be expecting a lot of game experience, game challenge, and of course probably a greater Nebi derby that will be coming right there. What are you anticipating? Nebi will be home, 12 man from Pakwach to Nebi is going to be shorter. That means Pakwach Youngster fans will also be driving or riding up to there. So you'll be seeing a tough contest.
It's true, apart from the game between Araka and the team of Coach Urban, the other biggest encounter over this weekend in match day 2 is actually the one you have just mentioned. Pakwach Youngsters up against Nebi Central. If you have been following Western Nile Regional League, a particularly recent one being last season, actual Pakwach Youngsters, there was a time they dominated the table for several weeks before the team of Nebi Central had to take over. That means the teams, of course, have been going neck to neck in terms of the statistics as far as controlling the top of the table is concerned. Briefly, how it ended last season, we saw Nebi Central finishing top. Pakwach Youngsters, I think, came second. You talk about teams like Paida United, the Rue City. That's how the log ended last season. That means it's a very big class. Since the season has started, every team will always want to put the best at the beginning. Pakwach Youngsters knows that they have the strength. They have the strength to go top. They saw that one last season. So coming up against Nebi Central, that emerges top last season, they'll want to prove the best against Nebi Central. But it will not be an easy one for them to get the best out of Nebi Central. Maybe the best for them against Nebi will be a draw, because this is a team that has tried twice, trying to see that they actually seal the bridge, or seal the promotion to FUFA Big League. Unfortunately, they have always been suffering into the hands of the teams coming from Nile Zone. This time they will still want to try it again, but Pakwach Youngsters will want to put the best against them, but at the end they will fail.
Okay, it's a very tight one. We're waiting to see. Apart from a derby in Yumbe, there shall also be another derby that side. So the Yumbe one we already discussed about it. Urban and of course Araka, that game will also be at Boma grounds, and we shall be expecting to see one of the biggest, toughest games that will be coming right there tomorrow. So we expect a lot that will be coming. And of course fixtures that will also be piling, and we shall be giving you shortly more of those. Now we go away from there and get into the game day, of course 8th in the FUFA Big League, where of course a tough one is going to be happening. Calvary Football Club will be making sure that they really did this win against Police. We said they were supposed to play yesterday, but reports getting from that is the media officer of Calvary indicated, in fact the public relations, saying that FUFA had called it off because they felt they needed to have they said they were engaged somewhere, and I don't know whether the game is supposed to be live. It was on cards, not supposed to be a live game, but I think they are planning to have it live. So that's one big thing that is right there. We already talked lengthy about this fixture that is going to be coming right there into the FUFA Big League. Does this change mean something, or does it change? Does this change affect the stability of the teams or the preparations of the two teams?
Like you have said yesterday, we discussed the length about this particular encounter, but there are some viewers who of course missed the discussion on that one. Will still take us back to repeat what we gave to the viewers who attended the show yesterday. Calvary, I remember you gave the statistics between the two teams. It has not been a good journey for the team of Calvary, even if they're at home, even if they're on the road away to the team of Police. Police, I think we have ever been discussing about them, how they prepared over the summer transfer window, how they have started the season. Unlike the last two games they have played, losing games, some games, and playing in draws. I remember the other game they lost into the hands of Boma FC, but still coming up against Calvary, just like Police FC. You look at the last two encounters, they have also suffered defeats, and I think this is going to be the right time for them to wake up. But one team, of course, will have to wake up from that sleeping. Will it be Police FC? Will it be Calvary? Is actually the point we are discussing here. But based on what you gave yesterday, it will still go into the hands of Police FC.
Yeah, it's one big thing, but Police, this change of fixture looks, you know, from Tuesday, it's supposed to be a Sunday game, changed to Thursday. I mean Friday didn't work out. Today, Wednesday, Saturday, we shall be seeing. But of course, Calvary had a report that came through, names like Okuye Dickens back into the team, and they will be waiting to see how exactly they really need to push it right there. So it's one big challenge that one needs to find out ahead of what exactly is happening. But all in all, it is one of the biggest, of course, encounter, and that is the FUFA Big League that we shall be expecting coming up next right there. Though a couple of games will also be coming, by the way, and two, that is the FUFA Big League, and one of them is the game with Ndeje that is going to be coming. Ndeje got their first win of the season, and probably very many expected them to maybe change over here and there. So that is one. But all in all, good news for that is Onduparaka Football Club, who of course acquired the return of Jericho James. That's one big one in the traveling squad. I did see him being included in the traveling squad, and that will be one big thing that you should be looking into for the fans of Onduparaka Football Club, unless you have something to say about the club because they traveled today.
It's also it's a good news, something which sounds nice for the whole team of Onduparaka Football Club, because he has been one of the fans' favorite, and he has been actually doing well for the team of Onduparaka Football Club. I think that's also going to add spice into the team, given the fact that some of the players of Onduparaka Football Club have not been performing very well, and at the same time, his return, of course, is going to act as a competitor to the rest of the team, more especially in that particular department position where he is going to play. It's going to engulf the players that are playing, that are sharing the same position with that particular player. And this is a player who has also established himself as one of the best players. He may not be one of the best players in the whole of the country, but in the region, he's one of the best players. I think that's going to add spice, add pressure, engulf pressure amidst the team. So that is, in summary, I should say, that's a very good return for the whole team of Onduparaka Football Club. It's
a very big one. Of course, we're expecting in there, and the names that probably have traveled include Jiga Ahmedin, and you have, of course, Okello Matthias, who has gone with the team in the defense, Simba Sabir, and not forgetting Adiko Alex, Ajiga Michael, Mungufeli Jonathan, Ndifuna Bernard, who has been right there, Mad Swale, and of course, names like Yakine Rashid, Mayanje Davis, Mandela and Malis, and Junior, Derek Rothomio, Pirio, Jimmy, and then Bida Ezra, Olega Caesar, Boy Fazlino, Abonga, Dominic, and Jericho James. But one thing, you have a game tomorrow, and then again, some members into the national team, into the drum team will also have to play two things. What would you say? Because a player plays today, and tomorrow you have a game.
That one obviously will bring that negative impact, if not into the drum team, maybe into the team of Onduparaka Football Club. It's not only affecting the team of Onduparaka Football Club, because these games of FUFA Big League cuts across the country, but in this case we are looking at Onduparaka Football Club. You have in a game today, tomorrow you have in a game, I think. And I've been thinking there will come a time FUFA drum will lose its meaning. Why am I saying this one? Because the arrangement, time schedule for FUFA drum, of course, sometimes it collides with the Start Times Uganda Premier League, it collides with the FUFA Big League. Of course, the fatigue bit of it will affect either one of the tournament, FUFA Big League, or else the tournament, the drum itself. But I am still strong. I still stand that there will come a time FUFA drum will lose its meaning. Even it has started losing its vibe, because the way it started, now you take a look at FUFA drum, more especially the current edition, people don't follow it in a vivid way how they followed it for the first edition, how it was followed. You compare it with the current one. To me, I've started observing it's losing its meaning, the pace, the vibe, but it happens.
What could be the problem that is causing all this anyway?
Just the wrong arrangement coming from FUFA. I should blame FUFA behind all these arrangements. You know that FUFA, FUFA drum is coming. At the same time, the Start Times Uganda Premier League is going on. Regional League is also there. You talk about the FIFA Big League we are discussing right now. The collusion party of it is there, and the effects, of course, will affect the both tournaments. That's why I'm saying it will affect one of the tournaments. But the way I'm seeing, it's going to have much impact on FIFA Drum, because FIFA Drum is just a short spell tournament. But FIFA Drum, not FIFA Drum, rather FIFA Big Leagues is a tournament that has come to last.
Okay, today we have a very big game also. Boma will be welcoming on Mbale Heroes. That's a game that is going to be at Masindi in Masindi. What are we expecting from this one? Because Boma has also been showing teams what exactly they needed to get. I think they were the team that let Police lose their first loss of the game of the season.
I think this one is going to be like a decider. It decides fixer for the team of Boma FC. If they will win this one, in case Police FC slips some points into the hands of Calvary, automatically it will take them on top of the law, because currently they should be having, if not 12-13 points. I think a good start for them in case they win the game. And the win, they actually picked against Police FC, and they actually broke the unbeaten record of the Cops. Is still, the morale is still there. They can be able to do it.
Sunday has a couple of games that will be coming right there, and of course on Sunday you'll be having a game of young Elephants against Kataka, Karo Karunji against Chiinda Boys, and you have Ndeje University against Blacks Power. And of course the game that was supposed to be played today is Police. Tomorrow is Police, but it has been pushed to today, so we shall be having two games on card right today. But the Boma game is going to be live according to the reports right here, and of course a game that will be on Monday is the Ginger North and Onduparaka. And this game will also be live on TV. So those are some of the games that are coming right there. Of course, there's that Ndeje and Blacks Power. Ndeje got their first ever win against the Calvary Football Club, and that meant that gave them what exactly that should have given them a morale of what exactly they need to put in right there. So they will be wanting to make sure that they get their goals rightly. They need to put in this, because someone said they played that for their coach in the late, but this time around they still have a game. Blacks Power, yes, we saw them in the previous game, they lost, and that was not good for them. So they will also come with all that anger. But Ndeje is a rejuvenated side. What are you expecting from this very tight contest?
Right now, the energy level at the camp of Ndeje is high, because you have been the rock bottom team and you picked a win. So that's something that has revived the life of the team of Ndeje University. But coming up against Blacks Power, Blacks Power is also an unpredictable side. They have always been suffering to the hands of the teams that are sitting down, whereas in the middle of the table. They will have to be very, very careful. And you look at the win Ndeje actually picked, it was not against an easy side, Calvary, that is also possessing that strong mentality of this time crossing the border. But they will have to be very, very careful up against Ndeje University. We never know. The win they picked against Calvary might be the starting point for them.
Yes, it might be the starting point, but at the same time, we shall be waiting to see how exactly they will be dominating. That's only if they play very well in their games and see what exactly will be coming right there. So that's one tough thing that we shall be talking about right there. Karo Karunji, Chiinda Boys. Chiinda also disappointed very many after they had gotten a good win against Calvary, against Onduparaka. Now, they are not doing well ever since that, and this is not going well with the Chiinda Boys fans and the rest. So we're expecting also a tight one that will be coming right there. With that, let's take a break. We shall be